They called him dangerous. The FBI watched his every move. But behind the firebrand was a man of family, faith, and transformation. This is the Malcolm X you haven't met. We'll go beyond the headlines, into his childhood, secret routines, family life, net worth, hidden travels, and the powerful legacy he left behind. Born Malcolm Little on May 19, 1925, in Omaha, Nebraska. His father, Earl Little, was a Baptist preacher and a fierce advocate for black self-determination. His mother, Louise Norton, came from the island of Grenada. Their home was burned down by white supremacists. Not long after, Earl was found dead, his skull crushed, his body laid across streetcar tracks. Authorities called it an accident. His family called it murder. With his mother institutionalized, Malcolm was placed in foster care. Despite the odds, Malcolm thrived in school. He was class president, a standout student. But when he told a teacher he wanted to be a lawyer, the reply was chilling. That's no job for a nerd. He dropped out soon after. As a young man, Malcolm drifted into the shadows, hustling in Boston, dealing drugs in Harlem, and burglarizing homes to survive. At 20, he was caught and sentenced to 10 years in prison. That cell would become his classroom. He read voraciously, history, philosophy, religion. To improve his vocabulary, he copied the entire dictionary by hand. He found purpose in the teachings of the Nation of Islam. He renounced his surname, a name he believed was handed down from slave owners, and called himself Malcolm X. He rose quickly in the ranks of the nation. Under the mentorship of Elijah Muhammad, he opened temples across America. He preached discipline, black pride, and separation from white America. His speeches stirred millions and rattled the establishment. The FBI began surveillance under COINTELPRO. Every word was monitored, every move tracked. "We didn't land on Plymouth Rock," he said. "Plymouth Rock landed on us." Despite his growing fame, Malcolm lived with humility. He rose before the sun, prayed 5 times a day. He never smoked, never drank, never touched pork. But he still loved jazz, sometimes playing records in secret. He was passionate about photography, often carrying a camera to document his world. In 1958, he married Betty Shabazz. They built a family of 6 daughters, the youngest born after his death. Betty stood beside him through triumph and turmoil. Away from the spotlight, Malcolm was gentle and poetic, writing Betty heartfelt letters filled with love and longing. By 1964, tensions with the Nation of Islam reached a breaking point. He left the organization, disillusioned by internal politics and moral contradictions. That same year, he made the pilgrimage to Mecca. There he prayed beside Muslims of every race. The experience shattered his former beliefs about race and redefined his mission. He returned as El Hajj Malik El Shabazz. He no longer spoke solely of black nationalism. Now he spoke of universal human rights. He traveled widely to Ghana, Nigeria, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, France, the UK. In France, he was banned upon arrival. The government saw him as a threat to national security. At home, the threats multiplied. His house was firebombed. His wife and daughters barely escaped. On February 21st, 1965, he stepped onto the stage of the Audubon Ballroom in New York City. Seconds later, he was gunned down in front of his family. 3 men were arrested, all tied to the Nation of Islam. But questions about who ordered the hit remain to this day. His funeral drew thousands. His body was buried in Harlem. His message refused to die. His words inspired the Black Power movement, fed the flames of civil rights, and planted the seeds of Pan-Africanism. His story was immortalized in books, documentaries, and films, most famously in Spike Lee's Malcolm X. His autobiography remains essential reading around the world. Schools, scholarships, and statues bear his name. His FBI file grew to over 4,000 pages. He was watched more closely than almost any other American citizen. After his death, Betty Shabazz became a force in her own right, an educator, a speaker, and a defender of Malcolm's legacy. She passed away in 1997. Their daughters, especially Ilyasa Shabazz, continued the work, preserving his truth, protecting his memory. The family lived modestly. No mansions, no fame-seeking. At the time of his death, Malcolm's net worth was under $100,000. Today, his worth is immeasurable, a giant in the currency of courage. There are stories few have heard. Malcolm loved taking photos and developed many himself. He was a boxing fan and admired Muhammad Ali deeply. He often said he wouldn't live past 40. "I'm a marked man," he told friends. There's rare footage, him laughing with children, relaxing with his family. One line captures him best. "When I am dead, I want to be remembered as someone who was sincere." They tried to silence him. They feared his truth. He spoke for the unheard. He lived for the truth. And though they took his life, they couldn't kill his message. This was Malcolm X. Like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories of untold Black history. Check out our reading list in the description, including the autobiography of Malcolm X.